dinner tonight, we're gonna be doing some beef back ribs. I have never made beef back ribs before, so this is a first time for all of us. I'm going to be treating the beef back ribs the same way that I would treat pork ribs, but just a little bit different. Normally on pork ribs, you would want to remove the membrane on the underside of the ribs. However, with the beef ribs, I will not be doing that. Only because the membrane is really the only things that are going to be holding these together. Beef ribs do not have a ton of meat on the top, so those ribs are going to become very exposed during the cooking process, and if I remove that membrane, everything's just gonna fall apart, and not in the good way. I'm also not going to be trimming the ribs, like any of the fat or anything. A lot of that is going to render out during the cooking process, and again, because there's not a lot on these ribs, I don't want to take too much off of it. I like to use a binder on beef and pork. My binder of choice does tend to be mustard. It does not leave a mustard flavor on the meat, so don't worry about that. Basically what this does is it just helps all of my seasoning adhere to the ribs. My seasoning or rub of choice is the Meat Church. I absolutely love their stuff. You can't go wrong with any of it. I'm going to be using the Holy Cow, which has a little bit of sweetness to it, but it does have more of that peppery that you would be looking for in like a Texas style barbecue. I'm gonna overly season on the underside of the ribs, so you don't have to go too crazy there. Now I am gonna heavily season on the meat side. Now, once I put the seasoning on, personally, I like to let it sit and adhere for anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes. The seasoning's really gonna draw the moisture out of the meat, and it's gonna help that just soak in and stick on there. I've been letting it adhere for about 20 minutes now, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna throw these on my smoker. We'll come back in 2 hours, show what it's looking like, and wrap them in foil for the remainder of the cooking. I'm smoking mine on a Traeger pellet smoker. I am using hickory wood, and I am smoking at 250 degrees. 2 hours, pull them off. We're gonna wrap them in foil, put them on for another 2 hours. They're a little more dry than what I'm preferring, so I'm gonna spritz with some water and then wrap them. You can spritz with like apple juice, apple cider vinegar, whatever you prefer. I'm just going with water. I'm gonna go put these back on the smoker. I'm gonna put them meat side facing down. Pulled the beef ribs off of the Traeger. You want your internal temperature to be between 195 and 205. Mine are at the 205 mark, which is perfect. You can see the ribs are a lot more exposed. We're very, very juicy. Cut a little piece off and do a taste test. Very tender. There's a bit right through that. That's so good. Just look at how juicy that is. A little taste test with my homemade barbecue sauce. So good. If you've been wanting to figure out how to cook beef back ribs, this is a perfect way to do it. I'll go ahead, I will have the recipe down in the comments, so save this for later so that you can replicate it at home.